hands up if you like a bargain. Put 2 hands up if you like something for free. Well, we're probably all watching the pennies at the moment. So maybe some of those little luxuries, those little treats are sort of being put to one side. Now, one of my treats is going to the garden centre, having a look around, see what's there, going to the cafe, having a cup of tea, maybe a cheeky slice of cake, and then going back into the garden centre and filling up a trolley. But it's not long before that subtotal rises and rises, and I've got quite a big bill. So this year, I'm going to have tea and cake at home, but I'm going to look around my garden to see what I can get for free out of my plants. And I'm going to show you today on the Virtual Village Hall how you can get free plants from plants that you've already got existing in your garden, maybe in your borders, in your tubs, on your windowsill, and they're called softwood cuttings. Now, there's lots of different plants that lend themselves really well to taking softwood cuttings. I've put a list in the video captions, but it's not extensive. So you might want to have a little Google for softwood cuttings and your particular plant if you wanted to get more of them. So what works really well are kind of your woody herbs. So like rosemary, lavender, also lemon verbena, which I'm going to show you how to do today. Fuchsias work well, and also pelargoniums. We sometimes call them the geranium, but technically they're the pelargoniums. So all these things work really well for softwood cuttings. Now, the best time of year to take them is really sort of from spring through to summer. So we're just on the cusp of being able to take these, but they're really quick to do and you don't need an awful lot to do them. So if you are around this weekend in the garden, maybe just take a few cuttings. So how do you do it? Well, first of all, choose from a really nice healthy plant. This one I've got here is a lemon verbena. It smells absolutely gorgeous and makes the most amazing lemony verbena tea. So it's got a little bit straggly over the summer because I'm growing it in possibly a bit too small a pot. But I'm going to take some cuttings from it so that I've got lots for next year, and also ones that I can give away because I've enjoyed it so much this year. So to start with, you just want to take a good size length from a really healthy part of the plant. So about that long. Take a few of them because not every cutting you're going to take is going to work. So it's always good to have some spares. Let's find another one. As I'm cutting, the smell is absolutely delicious. Yeah, I think I'm going to be putting the kettle on when I've finished here and making myself a cup of verbena tea. Just take a couple more. And they're called softwood because you're looking just to go in the soft part of the plant. Don't go too much into kind of the sort of, if it's got to a bit woody, it's the sort of the more fleshy bit that's going to take the cutting best. So I've got 5 there. I'm going to do it immediately, here and now. So I'm not worried about them really losing too much moisture. But if you're out picking on quite a hot day, or maybe a friend gives you a cutting, then just pop it in a little polythene bag and that will keep the moisture in. We want to keep as much moisture into those cuttings as possible. So for the next bit, I'm just going to pop you down so you can see how we pop them up. So this is our cutting, and you're looking to take just the top part out, just that growing tip, because that will lose moisture really quickly and will wilt. So you can just do that with either on a cutting board. Got one here. So just down to that first kind of true set of leaves, full set of leaves. Just take that out with your knife. And I've got a nice sharp knife here. You may be wondering why there's a big bit of yellow string on. Well, the reason is, and you'll also see that it's not as shiny as it should be. So I lost this knife on my allotment for probably about 6 to 8 months. It was a present from my husband. I know he'd rather buy me romantic presents, but I'm like, no, let's go the practical. I want something really good for the allotment. And I lost it because it didn't have anything attached to it, and that just fell on the ground and I didn't see it for about as I say, about 6 to 8 months. So the next time, so when I did find it, I managed to polish it up as best I could. I put a bright long yellow ribbon on it so that if I ever drop it again, I still got it. Still, I digress. So I've taken off just that top growing tip, and then you want to leave about 4 to 5 nodules. So the nodules are the bit that where the leaves join. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to cut just below that nodule, because that nodule has got everything that's needed to create more roots. And I'm going to take off the leaves that surround that, and then the next 2 sets of leaves, because the plant will be trying to put water into the leaves, and we don't want it to work that hard. We want it to work hard at growing roots, not servicing the leaves. So that's one of them done. I'll just quickly do these others. So let's just go through that again. So we're just taking out the growing tip, so just the first few sets of leaves, and then counting 5 nodules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cut below the nodule, that 5th one, and then take off those leaves. I'm just going to continue to do exactly the same with the next few cuttings that I've taken. Do 4 for that one, because I'm getting very close to where it's a bit woody. I want it nice and fleshy. So if you've just joined us, I'm showing you how to get plants for free from plants that you've already got from your gardens. So these can be any of the sort of shrubs, any woody herbs that you've got, and you pop them up, and then next year you'll be able to plant them, and then they'll grow for you. Give them away as presents. Last one. So again, take the growing tip out, count 4 to 5 nodules, remove the leaves around the nodule, and then those other sets of leaves. There are, so the residue just go on the compost, and now we just need to pot this up. So I'm using a peat-free multi-purpose compost, and you could use seed trays, you can use pots. I'm just going to put them all in one pot. Put my compost in. And don't be tempted to push it down. What we don't want with these cuttings is for them to rot. So we need a little bit of air circulation, but not too much. But we don't want the soil too compact so that it rots the cuttings. So just one more handful. I don't want to fill it right up to the top. And you just want to shake that down. And that's all you need to do. Don't press it down. And then taking something as technical as a pencil, I'm just going to make some holes. How many have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make some holes around the outside. And you're going to put the cutting in right up to the first set of leaves. I just need to make that a little bit deeper. That's one in. 2. much. I might only have room for 3 in this one. That's okay. I've got another pot on the ready. And then this is the magic bit, so that we close the holes around the stems from the pencil mark we've made. Just give it 3 taps, and that will fill those holes in for you without compacting the soil. Then we just need to give them a quick water. It's a balance between not getting them too wet so that they rot, but not allowing them to go too dry so that they die. So just give them a good water. And so I'm just going to keep an eye on them over the next few weeks just to make sure that they don't dry out. Don't be tempted to give them a little pull. You'll know if they've taken or not, because if they do die, and don't be too hard on yourself if some do, because you do get, it's not 100% success rate always. Some will die, so you'll know that they haven't taken. But if they're still green, just leave them alone. Don't be tempted to have a little pull, because you will damage the root, which then could make them die. It is very tempting, I know, just to give them a little pull. So that's it. That's as simple as that. So leave them to grow nicely, and then next year you can pop them on individually, and they'll give you lots of flowers, lots of leaves, and for me, lots and lots more of verbena tea. So thank you so much for joining me today on the virtual village hall. Please, if you've got any comments or any questions on the softwood cuttings that we've done today, please do pop them in the comments, and I will go through after and I'll answer them all. Have a great rest of the week, and a great weekend, and happy gardening. See you soon. Bye.